Hola. Oh, God. Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estella.
And welcome to
Cafecito
and Crime.
That was the second intro. And
intro, and I still managed to mess it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on.
You need to drink some water?
No, I don't know what the hell that was. I don't think... Yeah, maybe.
¿Pásate el gallo?
No, o sea, we were just talking fine. We were having technical difficulties, so I guess de tanto me cansé.
You also began to have technical difficulties.
Yes. My tripas are making noises. I don't know why. So if y'all hear that, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what's going on. I didn't do nothing different today, pero...
I don't know.
But how are you doing today?
I am good. You?
Here. I'm tired.
From your little walk?
I went to my hot girl summer walk. You know, we've been trying to do a little bit of walking porque, pues, pero está caliente.
No, it's because you go to go catch Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pues.
Well, I catch Pokemons. My husband does too, pero he goes just for that. Like, I go because I really do want to walk.
Yeah.
Pero él no. Él quiere ir nada más a catch Pokemon. Y while I'm there, I catch Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you go walking and not catch Pokemon?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, porque luego a veces como que me mareo de estar viendo like
the screen. Like looking up at your phone and
then looking up and then looking. Porque no,
we don't need you to fall again, bitch.
No more falling for me. Y entonces that's why I'm like, I don't know about this. So, pero a veces cuando voy con él, sí, I look more because pues I know he's with me.
Yeah.
Pero cuando voy sola, sometimes I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Pero, I mean, Pokemon is priority. We do go like, we will leave. No, we will leave right now after this to go in Pokemon at where we usually go.
Porque todavía hay sol.
Well, yeah, pero ya para cuando vamos, we don't get off. We just go to the circles and then just get the Pokemon
park.
We need. Yeah, we park. We don't drive around. We don't do nothing. There's like a spot right there on, there's a park.
Yeah.
Y ahí mismo nos paramos y de ahí ahí solitos vienen los Pokemons.
You don't really go on a walk. You just get out of your car and you stand there. Y they come to you or están alrededor and stuff.
No, están alrededor.
Okay.
Or when or sometimes when you're like walking by or driving by, you'll get it, but you have to go really slow. So, you cannot catch them. So that's why we just stop.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no point of us like driving that slow porque luego la gente está detrás de ti and they probably think like, this bitch, ¿qué va haciendo?
Yeah. Puro mal.
Puro mal. Yeah, but I mean, and you're at the park and there's kids around and stuff. They're probably like, a creeper? Yeah, no, for sure. No. For sure. I mean, I would think that.
I would too.
But
in reality, you're just trying to catch Pokemon.
I'm just trying to catch them all. That's all I'm doing. That's all.
Okay, Ash.
Yeah, today it was funny because my coworker and I we were calling patients or doing something, and then she plays Pokemon too. She's actually the one that got me into it, and then my husband back into it because my husband's been playing since 2016 when it first came out. I never got into it, but now this time I actually started because I wanted to start with my son. Like I wanted him to do something with
outside.
him. Pero he was like, he will do it, pero cuando le da su gana. So then Alex and I are always like, okay. And then he kind of already has a lot of Pokemon. So then we're not on the same level because he's a lot more, time doing it. Right. So then like today was funny because my coworker, I don't know if she listens, but if she does, she knows who she is. She's like, oh, you took all my patients, or we said something like that. And she's like, you want to fight? And then she was all like, I choose you, Snorlax.
A Pokemon fight.
Yes, girl. We were about a battle.
Yeah.
It was a battle. But the thing is, we were typing all of this while on Teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I chose Bulbasaur's.
Can you send gifts?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gifts or GIFs?
GIFs.
As a GIF.
And then I chose...
So ¿quién ganó?
No, we didn't. Well, we didn't. I
you have to get back to work.
Yeah, we had to get back to work. But anyway, other than that, it's cool. It's been okay. It's been crazy because it's the end of the year. I know all the moms out there are probably going crazy right now.
Like the end of the year, but you meant the school year. Yes.
It's the end of the school year for a lot of us moms. Y ya todo like que correle because they're doing the awards y que they're singing que no sé qué. And then like my daughter is in sports, so then they're doing the last this, the last that. And I was like, literally on Friday, I was so mad. I think I messaged you. This fool came home from school at 3:45 whenever she usually walks in. And so I'm like, hey, how was your day? Que no sé qué. She's like, good. I'll be back. Y ya se fue. Y cuando regresó, she was wearing her choir shirt. And I'm like, ¿qué estás haciendo? Why didn't you change your clothes? And y traía jeans. She's all like, yeah. She's like, I have a choir concert at 6.
You didn't tell me this?
Yes. She had a choir concert at 6. It was 3:45 and I was working.
Yeah.
And y bajó de arriba, like,
como
ella
si
bien cambiada y todo.
Como si te había
como
dicho.
que si yo ya supiera. And she was all like, yeah, I told, she's like, yeah, they send them. I'm like, there's no way I would haven't at least written it down. Because, you know, I write everything down on my calendars. If it's on the calendar, va a pasar. Yeah, and so my husband and I were both like, what the fuck? Because we were going to go Pokemon. And we couldn't go. We couldn't go. But anyway, what do you have for us today, sister?
So for today's case, we are going to Strongsville, Ohio.
Is everybody strong?
No.
Okay. But
I don't think so.
Is it a bill of being strong?
No.
Tampoco.
Well, it was just named after whoever incorporated the town. You know, like always.
También maybe somebody's last name.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, there's a lot of people that are strong.
It was somebody's last name.
It was strong.
Sville.
Strongsville? Así?
Strongsville.
Wow. In Ohio? I think we've been to Ohio.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, but different Ohio. I mean, different city.
Yeah. Towns. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get, if you want to go to Strongsville, Ohio, then go ahead and grab your cafecitos.
And let's get started. So the fun, random, interesting fact about Strongsville, it's its connection to the Rockefeller family.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, pues rocks and strong, you know, it makes sense.
Pendeja.
It made sense to me in my head.
The Rockefellers actually lived in Strongsville from 1853 to 1854. It wasn't a very long time, solamente un año. There were several reasons for the move. One being that William Avery Rockefeller moved his family from New York to the suburb of Cleveland, which is what Strongsville is, to avoid legal troubles.
Ay, jola madre.
Some of the legal troubles that have often been linked to allegations of rape.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ida Tarbell, who is actually a biographer for the Rockefeller family, she wrote that actually William Avery Rockefeller was actually a pretty shitty person.
I'm not surprised.
Who lived under a shaky set of ethics.
Shaky,
así.
No, pero shaky como que you never knew what he was going to do.
Yeah,
right?
he was shady, pues.
He was shady, pues.
Yeah. And apparently, allegedly, you know, he was doing crimes.
Yeah, that he was not supposed to. Okay.
Yeah. So just know that the Rockefeller family from the 1800s lived in Strongsville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you ever want to know something, just know that.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know about Strongsville, you know?
But all I remember is that the Rockefeller family the guy was allegedly raped somebody. That's what I'm going to remember.
From the early Rockefellers, like the ones that ended up making the monies que tienen ahorita.
The actual monies.
The actual monies. Right now, when I was looking it up, I saw that the Rockefeller family, like in today's time, I think there's like 200 members or no sé, algo por ahí, that they're worth $10 billion.
Bro, do you imagine if our or like your family, like your
the
Gurusquietas would be like, let's say with the Rockefellers, you said it was a family of 200. There's like 1,500 of y'all.
No, but I guess like in the lineage, I don't know if like in the lineage or.
But I don't think that they were having like 6, 7 kids, 9 kids cada uno, you know, like
well, back in the olden days, a lo mejor sí, güey.
I don't know, güey. But the Mexicans would be having a lot of kids. También.
A lot of people be having a lot of kids.
That's true. That's true. But yeah. That you imagine, like, or even like that, it'd be like, yeah, their lineage is 1,500. Damn, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, lineage comes back.
200, like, no se me hace mucho. Que haya like 200 of them, you know?
También like twice removed y no sé qué tanto. Sí. Like políticos, like the familia política.
Dude, that would be a shit.
Or maybe just 200 people with the last name Rockefeller, you know?
Maybe, true.
That is involved with like the main Rockefellers.
Yeah. But I wonder if like the actual main family somebody is still like.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's probably be like the great grandson of like pinche William Avery Rockefeller, you know?
That's true.
Por ahí. But just know, remember, just all you need to know.
We got it. Check.
Repeat it to me.
Que en Strongsville, ahí vivió un año the Rockefeller family.
Okay, cool.
That's all you need to know?
Yep. Because you're like, why would they leave New York? For fucking Ohio, you know? Porque andaba haciendo mamadas.
Andaba haciendo chingaderas.
So
exactly. That's the only reason why you would do something like that. Por andar haciendo chingaderas.
Okay. So we got that. Now that we got that straightened
out, yeah. I mean, that was important. No va a poder dormir si no sabía eso.
You just need to share that knowledge.
I needed to know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now you can pass it on to others.
I will.
Okay. And you do too, listener, please.
Yes, please, listener.
So today's case was actually fairly recent. And I can't say that I remember it. I don't know if I don't know if you do or our listeners do, but we'll begin with Mackenzie F. Shirilla, who was...
Like Skrilla, but Shirilla?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Shirilla, who was born to her parents, John and Natalie Shirilla, on August 2nd, 2004.
Oh, she's a baby.
Yeah.
Because that's when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
So she's a baby.
Yeah. She's Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yeah. She was born in Strongsville, Ohio, which is an affluent suburb.
Wow, not the Subaru.
The suburb of Cleveland. And an old friend and old schoolmate of Mackenzie named Jana Maynard stated that when she met Mackenzie, like she met her in middle school, she said that she just had that light about her. She was bright and bubbly with just like a big personality. She said, and that made me want to be her friend forever.
Wow.
She was that kind of person that you wanted just to be around all the time.
But that always happens whenever these bad cases is somebody that's really good or they have a light in them and all of this, and they're really smart and they have a whole future in front of them y luego algo les pasa, pobrecitos.
Yeah. In high school, she was known as a popular girl. She was pretty. She had the newest designer bag and shoes, así su little Gucci, su little Prada. And she had a lot of friends who followed her wherever she went, even to the restroom.
Oh.
Así.
I never went my friends to the restroom.
In high school?
Yeah.
You did it? Oh.
One time I did eat in the restroom lunch.
Not eat.
No, I'm telling you that I ate in the restroom lunch. I was new to the school and I didn't know anybody. So I went to the restroom. Yeah. So ahí estaba parada como pendeja.
It happens.
I could have talked to somebody if I wanted to.
Didn't want to. Yeah. It happens. I already said that. So her two main friends, like she had friends, but her two main friends were named Rosie and Nina, who were described as somewhat of her bodyguards. Se las tenía pegadas at all times.
Like you're not going to talk to her if we're not there.
Yeah, like she was a queen bee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So not only did it appear that she had it all, the looks, the popularity, the outfits, but she also had the boyfriend.
Okay.
Dominic Russo.
Okay.
Okay. So Dominic Russo was born on September 24th of 2001 to parents Frank and Christine Russo, also in Strongsville, Ohio. He was one of 7 children. Sí, mira, gente anda teniendo muchos hijos.
Sí, cierto.
You know, and was described by his family as just, también having a big heart, being a go-getter. He was very independent, very into fashion and athletic. He loved basketball.
Okay.
According to his older sister. Now, I don't know if his older sister's name was Christina or Christine, because the mom is called Christine también de ellos. So I'm just going to refer to her as his sister.
His sister? Yeah.
Dominic was always very particular about like his shoes and his socks. So he always liked to match. He was also in the process of getting his own clothing brand off the ground.
Damn.
Yeah. And it is also reported that he did some investing and was involved in like Bitcoin and in the stocks. So he was doing very well for himself.
Awesome.
He was 20.
Yeah, for him to be doing all of that, that's so amazing.
So his mom or his parents owned 2 houses next to each other, and Dominic lived in the one next door. Mm-hmm. He was also interested in the music industry and was a songwriter and was writing his own music and recorded the music in the recording studio que tenía en la casa.
A la madre. Sí. So these people had money.
Yes.
Okay.
So by the age of 20, as I just mentioned, in 2022, which is when this case takes place, like as I just said, he was doing really well for himself. Mm-hmm. So him and Mackenzie began dating when he was a junior in high school. So it looked like he was about 3 years older than her. And
she was a freshman and he was a junior.
Or maybe she was like in the 8th grade or something.
Oh, shit.
Por ahí.
Okay.
And by 2022, they had been together for years at this point. According to Dominic's sister, they were inseparable, Dominic and Mackenzie. So much so that by December 2021 or entrando January 2022, Mackenzie estaba viviendo con Dominic.
Oh, shit. Se fue para allá.
Yeah.
Okay. Pero she wasn't even 18 yet, or sí?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Everybody's different.
Yep.
That's all we can say.
Not any of my kids.
Not I.
Not I or any of my future children.
Go sit your ass down.
Vete a tu cuarto.
Vete a tu cuarto.
Y ponte a hacer tu tarea.
Vete a leer un libro.
Ya. La Biblia.
Y ya que andes, ya
Vete a ver
acabes,
la tele.
Vete a ver la tele y ya que acabes, expiras.
Ya.
Porque, y tira la basura.
Y aprende a lavar la cola.
Sí. No, you're not going nowhere.
Now, Dominic wasn't the only one pursuing his dreams. Mackenzie was too. She wanted to make it big on social media. I mean, you know, right? And make a career out of it. And it looked like she kind of leaned more towards the like lifestyle fashion-y side.
Okay.
She was chronically online, posting selfies, posting about herself, out with her friends, trying out different outfits, that sort of thing.
I think I would like that too.
Yeah.
Like I would do that. I would like to do that. Like
Where you're
like a blogger.
Not the blogger.
Like a blogger.
Not that she was a blogger.
Dude,
she was.
I literally, if I could show everybody what I do in a day, it looks boring as fuck because it is boring. But just to see how much I do.
Oh, it's very time consuming.
It's so crazy. But
you have a whole ass house and family and pets.
And so then on top of that, you imagine like trying to post it and then having to like edit it.
Yeah, no, that's
crazy. That is
we can
crazy.
barely edit this podcast.
No, well, that's because you edit. I can't. First of all, my ADD won't let me because I'm going to be like, huh? Like that. Y luego voy a borrar lo que no debo.
Yeah, y luego se delete the file.
Delete the file. Yeah,
todo eso.
So don't let me do that.
Now, again, she was very chronically online, always posting, changing outfits, posting pictures of herself, selfies. Like
con sus bags, con sus Gucci's.
Yes, her outfits, todos así. Now, people noticed that Mackenzie changed when she went on to high school.
Mm-hmm.
She started to dress like more revealing. Her style was very Y2K, very low-rise jeans.
No, not low rise.
Yes, girl. Sometimes even with the side of the thong poking out. Así.
Oh, what?
Yeah, así.
I never did that.
La panza, stomach showing, crop tops, tracksuits.
My panza would go over my pants.
It kind of reminded me of like Paris Hilton, like in the early 2000s, like when she was doing The Simple Life or very Britney Spears, very early Y2K 2000s.
But she was born in 2004.
Yeah.
So then
I mean, just inspiration.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
So she was different. Like she was doing her own thing, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
An old schoolmate of hers, Rachel Anderson, stated that she dressed like she was going to the club with short shorts, crop tops, and boots with the fur.
Not boots with the fur.
Yep.
And the apple bottom jeans.
Yeah.
Dude, if one day I would find apple bottom jeans, I would fucking shit myself.
Just check on eBay.
No, I don't want to check on. I want to find them in the wild. Mm-hmm. Like on
thrifting.
Thrifting, yeah. That would be so cool.
So by the time she graduated Strongsville High School in 2022, she had a life that I guess you could say girls her age would have envied, right?
Yeah.
That brings us to the night of July 30th, which is later that summer in 2022. Dominic and Mackenzie were at his house and were looking for something to do. They ended up heading over to Kelly. I don't know how to say this girl's last name. It's Vraja.
Girl.
Vraja? I'm sorry. Girl.
Sorry, Kelly.
So they headed over to Kelly's house. She was having like a graduation party, but they didn't head over there alone. Davion Flanagan joined them, who is reported as being a friend of theirs, but he was more friends con Dominic was. So Davion was 19, and he actually had a very tough early life with his biological parents. He had been born on August 4th of 2003, and along with his two sisters, was exposed to drug and abuse. When the parents were incarcerated, they were put into the foster system. And in 2011, the siblings were actually adopted, los tres juntos, by Scott and Jamie Flanagan, who made sure they got a new life filled with unconditional love.
Aww.
Like they put him through like therapy, todo eso.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Y para llevarte tres está cabrón.
Yeah, well, who would want to separate siblings? I know, I know it's a big...
From going to from having, let's say, I don't know how many they have, but let's say 0 to 3, that's some shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, Davion was described as a fun-loving guy and was big into sports también, track, baseball, basketball, and swimming, but his passion was football. He was a running back on his high school team. I think he also went to Strongsville. I'm not quite sure. And since he was held back a year due to his tumultuous childhood, he also graduated in 2022, like Mackenzie. He was working full-time to save money and planned to enroll in All-State Hairstyling Barber College in Cleveland in the fall of 2023. His dream was to one day own his own barbershop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Those are good dreams.
Now, I'm not sure, honestly, how he and Dominic met. Quien sabe. but the two wrote music together también. So the trio, Mackenzie, Dominic, and Davion, got to Kelly's house at around 10:15, 10:30 p.m. The party ended up being too laid back, I guess, for Mackenzie, and so she wanted to go somewhere else. They were probably there no more than 30 minutes, if even that, before they left. So later, according to Kelly, she will go on to testify that she did not see any of them using drugs or drinking alcohol, despite them having a weed pen, a bottle of tequila, and Mackenzie asking her if she, quote unquote, tripped, to which Kelly responded she did not.
Tripped to what?
Tripped, like, do you do trip? Like, I guess drugs?
Girl, I thought like tripped over something, bitch.
No, pendeja.
Like trip what? What did she trip over?
Sorry, this is what the Gen Z is
I
saying,
know, girl. I don't know, girl. That's why I'm asking you. She tripped what? What she trip over? Girl, I literally was like
the rock. The rock, like a rock in Strongsville, because, you know.
I thought you meant like the rock, like Dwayne Johnson. No. Okay, yeah, we're gonna move on from that.
Okay. The trio then ended up at Paul Berlinghaus's house.
Eh?
Paul Berlinghaus.
Oh, that's not what you said. You said Paul Berlinghaus.
No, I said Paul.
Oh, okay.
Paul Berlinghaus.
His house.
His house. This was de Paul, pues.
De Paul, pues.
So Paul had known Mackenzie since middle school. So they showed up like around a las 11 de la noche, 11 p.m.
They had a party too.
Paul was having a party too. And Rosie and Nina were there, que eran las amigas.
Las bodyguards.
Yeah. Uh-huh. People were hanging out. También, I guess it was chill, you want to say. Like, I think people were planning on sleeping over.
Was it like, pum pum, como arrebotota? Pero como, was it to her standard or no?
Yeah, pues sí, because some people were smoking weed, playing games, you know, that sort of thing. I don't know what kids do at parties.
Girl, me and you both. Because I would be like, smoking weed, yeah.
They got a party or just hanging out?
I mean, I don't get it.
According to Paul, he didn't see Mackenzie smoke. And then he said que tampoco he didn't. Tampoco él, dice. It is reported that Mackenzie fell asleep on the couch like around 1 a.m. And as time passed, others also fell asleep, including Paul. When he woke up around 3 or 4 de la mañana, Mackenzie was still asleep on the couch. Davion was watching TV with another friend, and Dominic wasn't around. Later in court, he testified, Paul, that he didn't witness Mackenzie and Dominic fight at his house. That's what he said.
Okay.
So at around 5:15 in the morning, Mackenzie, Dominic, and Davion all left Paul's house. You know, when it
But they already took a nap, me imagino.
Pues sí, ya se durmieron.
Yeah,
so you know, it's believed that they were going to go home, right, to Dominic's.
Yeah.
Now, at around 6:15 to 6:30 in the morning, the Strongsville Police Department received a phone call about a car crash. When the officers arrived at the scene, it was horrific.
Nuh-uh.
One of the officers described the car as being almost split in half.
What the fuck? Pero con qué chocaron?
I'll get there. I'm talking about it was in pieces. Pieces of it were scattered everywhere, and most of the damage was specifically on the front of the car and more on the passenger side.
Okay. What kind of car is it?
A Toyota.
Oh.
It looked disintegrated. Like if you pull, you can see it online. The pictures I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
The car had hit a brick building, and with the state of the vehicle, the officers thought that whoever was in it, there's no way that they were alive.
So it just hit like a building, like a random ass building,
like a business.
Okay.
Yeah, you can watch this on the available body cam footage online. Of course, the graphic parts are blurred.
Yeah, as they should.
They began looking through the windows, and on the driver's side, they saw legs and a lower torso on the driver's side of what appeared to be a female.
No rest of the top of the body.
Which they later identified as Mackenzie Shirilla.
Okay.
Her upper half was on the passenger side.
Ah, su puta madre.
Underneath the dashboard.
No mames.
So the dashboard had caved in on top of her.
What?
On the passenger side, the passenger seat was reclined all the way back. There was a body of someone sitting on top of the passenger seat with his head facing the top of the car.
Okay.
With a lot of head trauma, which we later learned that was Davion. Under Davion, also on the passenger seat, was another body, which was Dominic Russo.
So then there was, both the bodies were on the passenger side, and then the female body
top part
was on the
passenger side,
in the back.
No, but like donde está la dashboard, pero abajo. Like she was like, this is the driver's side, right? I'm the driver.
Yeah.
So my body is here, but the rest of me
she
is like,
was driving.
yeah, she was a driver.
That's where I was confused. Okay,
Yes, I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear. Yeah, Mackenzie was driving. It was her car.
Oh, okay.
The officers broke a window because they wanted to start cutting through the airbags. And when they ended up hearing a mumbling, the driver, Mackenzie, she was still alive. The Strongsville Fire Department arrived at the scene and used, their tools to extract Mackenzie from the car. She had significant injuries to her leg and arm, but was miraculously still breathing and responsive.
What the hell?
When they asked her what her name was, she responded. She's like, my name is Mackenzie. She stated her age.
Oh, her body must have been in shock.
She was 17. So this was on the 31st. This was 2 days away from her 18th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. She was airlifted to the Metro Health Medical Center in Cleveland in critical condition. When she was assessed, her breathing and circulation were actually normal, and her pupils were reacting normally. Again, she was alert and oriented and denied any drug use or alcohol, which her blood work later confirmed, except for some THC.
Well, because she had taken a nap.
So at some point, I know Paul said that he didn't see her smoke, but at some point she must have smoked.
She did.
Yeah.
Obviously. Maybe,
but it's just weed, right?
Maybe Paul was busy.
Dormido.
Or probably doing something else. Miro que she did.
Yeah.
Pero she took a nap, so then that's probably why it wasn't that significant, the amount that was in her body, right? Is that what you said?
No, it just said that there was no alcohol in her blood work.
It
was no alcohol. It was just some THC in her blood work. So some of Mackenzie's injuries included a broken femur and a humerus bone, fractured ribs. She had on like a neck brace and other internal injuries that she underwent several surgeries for.
Yeah, because her body was under the...
I go like this to grab my necklace, but I went to go drop it off to get it clean.
Oh, no. And I hate that because then you're like looking for it. Because like me, I took mine off for the week. Like I changed necklaces. So I've been looking for mine and I'm like, shit, I need to go back up there. Cada vez me acuerdo, I'm like, I'm going to go put it back on.
Now, sorry. So back at the crash site, officers noticed that they were, obviously the two other occupants, Dominic and Davion, were not moving or responding. So sadly, they were pronounced dead at the scene. Unlike Mackenzie, they had not been wearing their seatbelts.
Oh.
And she had been. And since the impact was on the passenger side, I don't know if maybe, because Dominic was in the passenger side, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm assuming que Davion must have been también on the passenger side, pero atrás de Dominic. So there's no way that they would have survived, especially if they weren't wearing their seatbelt.
Yeah.
So Dr. Fellow,
not Dr. Fellow.
Yeah, Fellow, Dr. Fellow.
Dr. Fellow.
The ME with the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office concluded that Dominic and Davion each died due to multiple blunt force injuries consistent with a car crash. Okay. Dominic's injuries were to his head and Davion's were to his abdomen and the trunk. So I don't know if that's like the back of you or
no, the
what?
trunk is this right here.
Oh, okay.
So from your neck down to your this
so
is
like
what they call it.
Torso, I guess. Yeah, mm-hmm. Like the top part of your torso. Their toxicology reports showed that they both had smoked weed before their deaths, but that's it.
I don't know because weed. I mean, I don't know about the weed nowadays because the weed when I was younger, like. I don't know what the weed is now, pero back then you would relax and chill when you were smoking weed. Like I'm not sure what the weed is doing now.
I mean, I guess it's different for everybody.
But like and whatever kind of smoke kind of weed they're smoking. But I just have I really do wanted to find out how is it that people just do that and then they're like out on the street. Like I would think that if I'm gonna smoke weed, I'm gonna be relaxed, chilled. Like I don't want to be out on the street
or driving a car.
Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know, and I don't.
They're just speaking for yourself.
Yes, okay. I don't smoke weed, but if I did,
I'm just saying.
Right.
So while searching the crash site, officers collected 8.1 grams of mushrooms, a digital scale, 2 cell phones, a bong, a bag of weed, a purse, which I'm assuming was Mackenzie's, and a Cadillac key fob. I don't know whose it belonged to. Must have been either Dominic or I don't know if Davion. Now that it appeared that Mackenzie was going to make it, people wanted to know what happened. What happened? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mackenzie stated that she didn't remember and she's been blacked out. It may have been due to her head injuries from when she was under the dashboard.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Or I don't know if it was like a trauma response que no se acordaba. According to Dominic's sister, Mackenzie talked to their parents daily, and her parents were also obviously in close contact with the Russos también. She maintained that she didn't remember what happened. There was even a text exchange between Mackenzie and Christine, Dominic's mom, where she stated the following, quote, "I remember turning onto the street and then my vision fades to black. It really kills me not to be able to remember anything. I promise you I would tell you. I've been asking my therapist why I don't remember, and she said it's because of trauma. I'm going to try to get myself hypnotized and make myself remember," end quote.
She probably felt guilty because she wanted to give him answers and she didn't remember.
And bro, this is your boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know, and you're a friend, like somebody that you consider a friend también. A lot of people, when they heard of the accident, actually believed that Mackenzie también se había muerto. Like they believed that all three of them had passed away. But once that, you know, she was somewhat a little bit better, she got her phone back and began posting updates on social media. Now that she was back posting on social media, obviously she was distraught, and she posts a lot of tributes to Dominic. For instance, on August 24th, she posted a picture of both of them at a Universal Studios where she said, quote, "I miss you, Nug. I still feel like you're just going to walk in the door any second. I miss your laugh, your perfect smile. I feel your energy around me every day. I just wished it was physical. God, you are the last person to deserve this. You had such a perfect life ahead of you. I wish I told you this more. Please wait for me." And then like emojis and stuff. So,
end quote.
Yes. So people obviously really felt for her and what she was going through, being so young and losing her boyfriend and her friend in that manner. So she ended up getting like a lot of support from her friends and from even strangers online. And she began to gain like a lot of followers. Investigators on their end are trying to piece together what happened that early morning of July 31st. Initially, it was believed that it was a case of kids, well, not kids, but like teenagers, you know, who had been out partying the whole night and were being reckless on the road, you know, because it happens.
Yeah.
And that maybe drinking may have been involved. But again, that was ruled out when the toxicology reports came back. Another floating theory was that Mackenzie possibly suffered some sort of medical emergency at the last second. When looking into this theory, law enforcement was able to find that Mackenzie had never suffered through any kind of health emergency that could have prevented her from slamming on the brakes or not hit the brakes at all. Also, nothing like that showed up while she was in the hospital. Her medical records didn't show any symptoms of sleep disturbances, anxiety, memory loss, or depression. But her mom did state that Mackenzie had a history of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS, which can cause someone to have unusually elevated heart rate. But an electrocardiogram was performed, and it showed that Mackenzie's electrical function of the heart was normal.
Basically, you just pass out because your blood pressure goes really low, and you're just sitting there, and your blood pressure goes low, and you pass out.
Maybe that happened to you.
Maybe, yeah. But that's why I'm getting sent to the specialist.
Yeah. Yep. So this was also testified by Dr. Esther Sengs, who is a trauma surgeon at a Metro Health Medical Center later at a trial también. Again, her toxicology report showed that she had smoked some weed. So what if this had caused her, like you were just saying, to be confused and or dizzy?
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't know. Maybe it could have caused the crash. So this theory goes out the window when surveillance footage from the local businesses showed Mackenzie's car driving in the street just before the crash. At 5:34 a.m., at the intersection of Progress and Alameda, you see Mackenzie's Toyota Camry, like she made a right-hand turn. And her turn signal was on, and she made the turn without any incident, and it was at a normal speed, like she kind of, you know, and it seemed like she was in control of the vehicle. Other footage, which I think it's like not even a minute later, shows the car flying by.
So she was going fast.
Yes, and crashing straight into the building.
So in that whole minute, something happened for her to be like going really fast.
Yes.
Okay.
It was later determined that she was going about 100 miles per hour.
Oh shit! In that little bitty place, like in that little bitty.
It was like a long strip of just puro business, como puro like bodega or something like that.
Yeah, pero yo lo que se me hace raro es que in between that 1 minute, you went literally 0 to 100 in a minute.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In the footage, because you could see the car clear as day.
Yeah, porque eran las 5 de la mañana.
Yeah.
O sea, ya estaba saliendo el sol, me imagino, ¿no?
Oh, I don't know.
Or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. You can see in the footage, in the back of the car, you could see that the brakes were not applied porque los brake lights didn't come on.
Okay.
And there were also, there was a lack of skid marks on the street.
That she tried to, like,
that would have
maneuver,
showed
like, yeah,
that she tried to, like, brake
Stop.
or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So the question now was, did someone tamper with Mackenzie's car?
Yeah. Or what happened in that 1 minute?
Right.
Yeah.
Again, Mackenzie was popular, and seemed to have it all. So was there someone who was envious of her that wanted to maybe harm her? Maybe not kill her, but harm her. But I mean, if you're fucking with somebody's car, you're expecting them to fucking,
that's a big deal. Like,
yeah. While investigating this avenue, investigators learned that while Mackenzie was popular, it wasn't for any good reason.
Okay.
According again to Jana Maynard and Rachel Anderson, Mackenzie was mean and nasty.
Okay.
She was a big old bitch.
Not the big old bitch.
Big old bitch.
Y luego?
If she was having a bad day, everyone was going to have a bad day.
Oh, shit.
If she was walking down the hallway, you better scurry out of her way before she was like, I'm going to make your day hell today.
Why?
It is reported that she and her friends, las otras bodyguards, pues, had this quote unquote bitch list.
Like this is, are we in Mean Girls right now?
Literally.
Are we in Mean Girls right now?
Rachel says that Mackenzie wanted her life to play out, or her high school to play out like Mean Girls.
Why?
In this bitch list or whatever, they wrote down the things that they did to a person that they didn't like, or the things they wanted to do to that person.
What?
So Jana and Mackenzie had actually been friends, and she stated that they had a falling out. And that Mackenzie went on to spread lies about it on social media and began calling her like all these names and stuff. And Jana was ready to beat Mackenzie's ass. She was like, I was ready to fight her.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Now, finding this out, this, reputation that she had in school.
More information, basically.
Yeah, more information.
Yeah.
There was no shortage of people that probably wanted to beat her ass or harm her.
Or that would actually be like, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Investigators also called in a renowned forensic mechanic expert. His name was Adam McQuaid, who conducted a very thorough investigation of Mackenzie's Toyota. It was concluded that the braking system, the accelerating system, and the suspension were all working properly at the time of the crash.
Okay, so nobody was trying to do her harm.
Additionally, the report noted that there were no tampering with Mackenzie's car. Mm-hmm. Another theory, now discarded, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing was wrong with her car. But little inklings about Mackenzie's real personality began to come out that didn't, I guess, fit with someone who had lost the love of her life and a dear friend. And we know that everyone grieves differently. Like we know, right? Like I know it may seem weird to you or to me, but you don't know how people deals with things. But some things were just not sitting right with a lot of people, especially with the victims' families.
Okay.
As I mentioned before, Mackenzie had gained social media followers due to this accident or the crash. According to Rachel, Mackenzie was trending on social media at the time.
Okay.
So while she was still in the hospital, remember, she's still in the hospital at this point, I believe there was some sort of company or modeling agency that reached out to her in her comments on one of her pictures. They commented asking for permission to use the photo because they loved the look in the photo. Mackenzie's mom, Natalie, responded to that comment from her own profile and said, she was thanking them for the amazing opportunity for her daughter, that Mackenzie had actually been trying to reach out to them for PR. And Mackenzie also responded to that same comment in saying that, she thanked them too for the comment and that she would love to work with them. And that she had been emailing them a lot and thanked them too for the opportunity.
Right. Like, okay.
She's still in the hospital.
I was about to say, you could not, this was not the time and the place.
Why is this something that you're concerned with, right?
And not only that, but if you can't remember anything and you're so traumatized and all this other shit that you're saying, then why is this your first thought? Like, oh yeah, I've been wanting PR. And her mom too. Like, the fuck?
After she was released from the hospital, I believe she was only there maybe not even 2 weeks, because I think everything had gone well, like with her surgeries, and everything seemed to be, you know, normal, and her blood work and all that stuff. So she was released and then attended a concert.
Oh. Okay.
She was in a wheelchair when she went to the concert with her right arm bandaged, but she was there looking cute with her little bikini top and shorts outfit.
What?
Her little like space buns, you know.
Okay. Not one forgiven, apparently.
Again, this did not sit right with people.
Yeah. And I mean, and honestly, it doesn't matter. Like you said, it doesn't matter what people think about it. You know, you're trying to deal with things the way that you can deal.
Yes.
But I think there's a fine
Time and
line,
place.
and there's a time and place. I mean, you just lost, according to you, the love of your life. You're in this trauma. I mean, you were in this big ass accident. This was not.
And you would think that that's something to not only. You were the one that was driving. You know what I mean? Like, you would think that
I would feel some sort of like guilt, remorse, or something like that. But for me to be just like, oh, I'm going to this concert in my bikini top, like, no. Or, okay, guys, thank you for contacting me.
I want to work with you guys. Thank you.
Give me some PR. Like, what the? Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
In another instance, she posted, I think it was a TikTok. And it was like of her in this video, and there's a text in the TikTok that says, quote, Google Mackenzie Shirilla, Strongsville, Ohio. Right, that's what it said on the video.
Okay, and she's in the video.
And it's her face. And then there's a sound or an audio on it, right? And the audio says, I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die.
Oh, no. She did not.
But what really sent people over the edge.
Oh, that wasn't enough?
And rightfully so, was another TikTok that she posted on Halloween.
Okay.
Of herself and her two friends who were like in a hotel dancing, and then it cuts. Like, they were just dancing, I guess, in their normal clothes. And then it cuts, and it's them dressed up as sexy corpses.
No, not the corpses. Okay. Yeah. Bad idea, but okay.
Have some decorum.
Yeah, please. Like, I know she's 18.
Yes, pero
exactly. I know that. I was about to say that. I know that we're young, and I get that people are different nowadays. But
I mean, our oldest niece, she's 18, and she would never do this.
No.
Nada que ver.
But what I'm saying is, once again, it all depends on everybody and how they're dealing with things. Yeah. I get that. Pero there's a fine line.
If you wanted to go out for Halloween
go
and stuff,
ahead, but don't post that shit. Like, girl.
But you don't want to be something else. Why does it have to be a corpse?
When you just lost your friend and your boyfriend. Like, okay.
You couldn't be like a nurse or something?
Girl, a nurse? Ain't nobody want to be a nurse. Well, she should have been.
Yeah.
She could have been like a strawberry or something. I don't know.
Yeah, a pumpkin. A bumblebee.
Something like that. But not.
And then, bitch, not even a corpse, a sexy corpse. Oh, like they're
it's
just
so
like
cringy,
black. Everything
dude.
had cutouts.
It's
just
so
short.
Cringy. Tacky. Yeah. It gives me cringe, tacky. It just gives you that sense of ugh.
Like, ugh.
Yeah.
So during all this time, investigators were working on figuring out what had happened, and everything Mackenzie was posting on social media was obviously being communicated back to them. Dominic's family specifically had let investigators know that she and Dominic had actually had an on and off again toxic relationship. Mm-hmm. According to Dominic's sister, she remembers the couple's issues beginning probably early 2022. So like 6 months before the accident, which is when Mackenzie moved in a la casa de él.
Yeah.
And she says that she was attached to his hip 24/7. Where he went, she did too. If he was hanging out with the guys, they would post pictures. Ahí andaba el chicle.
Pero es que también eso has a lot to do with why you should not be with someone that young, because you need to live your life. Y'all both need to, live your own life first y luego pensar. Pero she wasn't even 18 years old y ya se había ido para allá. ¿Y los papás para qué la dejan?
Where are her parents?
My deal is like, why are you not putting a stop to this child or this madness that she's doing? And especially because the mom was like, oh yeah, thank you for wanting to work with my daughter. What are you doing on her fucking comment saying that?
on her Instagram.
What are you doing? Like,
bro, you don't want to like send a DM para que no ande mirando la gente.
Fuck that. Está bien, pero
no, that's what I'm saying,
don't
but
do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want to do it, you want to send an email,
No, something
behind
else
the scenes.
like, oh, well, we'll contact you later.
You know, at a better
How
time.
about don't say shit and just do it on,
that's what I'm
behind
saying,
you.
do behind the scenes
Pero
or whatever.
Apparently, because it's not even apparently, it's apparently, she didn't give a one fuck.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yes. Again, like esta era chicle. Dominic took and picked her up from school sometimes. You know, he cooked for her.
What?
He had to take her on vacations.
Girl, no.
And she made sure.
And where's his mom?
He was 20 and was living solo.
Yeah, which I get that. But if I'm looking at it, I'd be
I guess it's different when you're a boy, I guess, if you want to say, like a double standard.
But it shouldn't. You should be like,
well, for
paying
you,
attention.
Yeah.
Like, oye, hijo, esta niña, pues ya se vino para acá, onda su
se
mamá.
van a casar, o qué verga.
O like something, or no se casen, pero por lo menos dime, hey, ¿sabes qué?
Is her mom, like the parents don't want to talk to each other? You know, like, and bring in the kids and be like, hey, you guys want to.
Your daughter just is living with us now. Like, can we discuss?
Because at the end of the day, Dominic was living in his mom's house.
Still,
like the mom owned the house.
I know, it's still his mom's house.
So she would be like, I would think that she would be like, hey, do you guys maybe want to discuss? And maybe they did, and we don't know.
Right? And everybody's different. You know, people take care of their own shit. But
any of my kids would not.
Which is, and I
would any of your kids?
Fuck no.
And you have a boy and a girl.
And I have one of each, and it's not. But the thing is, like, me as having a boy, I'd be like paying attention to that.
Pues
like,
también, because
si le estás haciendo de comer and you're taking her to school and you're doing, no, you're not married to this girl.
Yeah.
She can go.
Tiene manos.
She can cook herself and she can take herself to school. And you need time alone with your friends también. You know, because he's 20. He's not like fucking 45 and shit.
Yeah.
Having 3 jobs and...
He was doing a lot.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, personally, I don't know. Maybe everybody else might think differently, but where are their parents? Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of their parents.
So, like I just mentioned, like by the spring of 2022, the relationship was rocky.
You think?
And they were not getting along. And by the time Mackenzie graduated in June of 2022, Dominic was losing his patience with her. And he was probably on the brink of breaking up with her.
Mm-hmm.
So when they'd argue,
knowing her, she's probably gonna be
Mackenzie got vicious and called Dominic names, and she would belittle him. An example of this was a video that was recorded in July, which is the same month of the accident. Yeah. Okay, there's a video where Dominic is recording, or he recorded an argument with Mackenzie during a phone conversation using another friend's phone.
So he was trying to get evidence, basically. You know, he's like, I need to make sure that I have something to back up what I'm saying.
Yes.
There's a reason for that. So something andaba medio fishy allí.
In the video, Dominic says, quote, "You can keep making all these threats." And Mackenzie says, quote, "Stop being a little bitch and open the door." So you can see this, like, you can see it because this is online. Dominic responds telling her that he can't let her in his house with the way that she's acting. She says,
call the cops.
She says, "You think I'm joking? If you don't open this door, making threats, blah, 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 blah." Dominic says, "What do you mean?" And she says, "You know exactly what I mean. You're going to know exactly what I mean. You're going to open this door right now or there is going to be a serious fucking problem." She says, "I'm going to count to 10 and you're going to open the door, okay? And stop hiding behind it like a little bitch." And I guess she counted to 10 and I guess he didn't open the door. And she said, "Okay, I'm going to break something then." So at some point, I guess Mackenzie threatened to key his car and see if she didn't let her in the house. So the recording ended, but it is reported that Dominic ended up calling his mom to just kind of help diffuse the situation.
And that's when the mom should have been like, "Te me vas pero rapidito de aquí, hija de tu chingada madre, porque te voy a meter una chinga, or I'm gonna call your mom, y tráeme a la mom también, y también me la puteo."
So this video, along with other 2 videos, was given to Christine after Dominic's death.
So there was 2 videos.
Other videos besides this one. I'm not sure what the other ones, held, but I'm assuming it was maybe something along the same lines.
Me imagino, because there was a reason why
they were turned over to her.
Yeah.
And then she turned them over to the police.
Good.
Christine, la mamá de Dominic.
As she should, yeah.
So there was just one of the examples of a fight. There was a second incident that would also be presented at trial, along with the video that of Mackenzie making the threat, someone that we just talked about. So this specific incident took place on July 17th. So 2 weeks before the crash, this one that I'm about to talk about right now. So during this specific incident, Dominic called his mom upset, asking her to be picked up since Mackenzie was driving recklessly and had supposedly threatened to crash the car on Interstate 71.
That hoe is, she is a fucking bully.
She's a menace.
Yeah, she's a bully.
A disagreement between the two is what supposedly caused the behavior from Mackenzie.
Okay.
Okay.
And this was at another time, not the time that they crashed.
Yeah.
That's correct.
This was 2 weeks before the crash.
Wow.
On the 17th of July. And the crash was on the 31st. And in the first video where she's making threats to go into his house, it was before this one about on the highway.
Mm-hmm. When pobre, he was probably like, I'm sorry out loud. He was probably like, ya no sabía qué hacer. Like, he was like, let me call my mom. Like, ¿qué más hago? Yeah. You know, he was at the same time embarrassed that this girl was running him. And so he's a 20-year-old.
I mean, and I'm sure maybe there's, you know, maybe he wasn't también so innocent. Like, I'm sure, you know, like.
I'm pretty sure. But, I mean, he's older than her. But there was a reason why
he, like you said, he was making sure to record stuff, you know?
That's what I'm saying. I honestly think that if it would have been the other way around, you don't think she would have recorded it or like
called the police
on him?
Yeah. Now, when investigators got a hold of Mackenzie's cell phone records, they learned that 3 days before the crash, her GPS placed her at the same location as the crash site.
She had been there
3 days before.
Okay.
It wasn't close to her house. I think it was like a 40-minute drive or something.
Okay.
It wasn't a route that she would take to go anywhere else. It was completely out of her way. So why was she there?
Yeah, what was she doing? Scoping out the place or what?
With new information emerging, investigators now believe that Mackenzie was canvassing, pretty much, the area where she was going to crash the car.
That's crazy.
So they believed now, with, like you just said, with all this information, that she did it deliberately. There didn't seem to be any other explanation since all the other theories, you know, they had exhausted.
But isn't that weird that they were... Okay, rewind. So at the party, was the party close to this place or no?
I don't know. Now, obviously we don't know. The question sometimes, like you were saying, like, why was Dominic putting up with this type of behavior, right? They actually ended up interviewing, and I guess you want to call him an ex-boyfriend of Mackenzie. He went on to say that he was friends with Mackenzie and he dated her like for a month or two, and I guess she cheated on Dominic with him, and then they both ended up finding out what was happening, but they were on good terms, him and Dominic, and that the reason why he was putting up with her is because he had heard that she put a spell on him. Que le hizo brujería, le hizo un amarre.
Not the amarre.
Yeah, y que por eso...
Those people make amarres too?
I guess.
In Ohio.
Mm-hmm. And that she believed in, you know... which I guess
wouldn't put it past her. Like, I wouldn't put it past her because of all that shit that she does. But at the same time, like,
she's just toxic, I think.
Yeah, I just think she's toxic. Yeah. And then luego también, like, I think that once again we go back to the same thing. Like, he probably didn't know how to get out of it, and he was embarrassed. I think he was like he was like, I don't know, it was too much for him, and he didn't know how to get out of it. He's like, I'm in here. We've been together for this long. He's been trying to leave her, y no podía. Like, you know, pobrecito, man.
Now, Mackenzie was arrested on November 4th. She faced a total of 12 charges, including the murders of Dominic and Davion. I'll go into it later, which ones they are. She was going to be tried as an adult. She ended up waiving her right to a jury trial. So it was going to be a bench trial, which a bench trial is where a judge, rather than a jury, is the sole fact finder and decision maker. Mm-hmm. So her trial began on August 2023.
Oh, just this. Yeah, you did say
like a year and a half ago.
I don't remember
almost 2
this
years.
Case.
I don't either. Her trial lasted 4 days.
Just 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
So her defense team claimed that she, as she had said initially, that she just blacked out and didn't remember anything, and then she just woke up in the hospital. The prosecution argued that she did it on purpose. That the reason being that she didn't want Dominic to leave her, because let's remember, she was trying to make it big on social media. Okay, she wanted popularity. She had like the best outfits. She had designer stuff, and she had a boyfriend, and he played a big role in her image on social media. You know, they would take pictures. Instagram is gone, but a lot of her pictures and stuff are on Pinterest, and te los voy a enseñar. You know, they tomaban fotos con pacas de dinero, like her, just like all that kind of stuff, you know, out on trips and los trips que ella.
So she was hoping that one of the pictures that she was,
I guess she was trying to put herself out there to be just gain following, you know.
Hopefully, one of the pictures would go viral.
Y a lo mejor también era capricho, you know, like she just set her eyes on him, and she was like, "Fuck," you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't. I mean, people have killed for less, you know.
Not the people, but for sure, you're right about that. They have killed for less, but unfortunately, it's so sad.
And when they're so young, you know.
Like porque that's also a mental disorder as well. Porque
un trastorno.
Trastorno. Like dude, you're young. Like you could.
Why do you
feel like you need to destroy somebody's life like that,
dude? Davion.
Nada que ver.
He was just going out with his friend. Like, he was probably just going along for the ride like he had done before.
And then he's like, okay, we're 40 minutes away from the house and I don't even know where the fuck we're at. He was just there. You know? That's so sad. Yeah. Super sad.
The surveillance footage of the car driving in a controlled manner and then the one speeding by was played in court. During the trial, again, Adam McQuaid, the forensic mechanic I mentioned earlier, testified that the car's data recorders, or the black box, showed that moments before the crash, the accelerator pedal was being pushed down at full capacity with no application of the brakes.
So she didn't give a fuck porque qué tal si se hubiera matado ella?
Yeah.
But she put on her seatbelt.
So
no estaba pendeja.
No. But dude, how are you going to risk
it? Girl, I'm not going to hurt myself for
a man.
Hell no.
For a man?
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no, hell no. ¿Te imaginas? Like, hurt yourself like that?
And she did hurt herself. Regardless, she didn't kill herself, but she hurt herself.
Bitch. Hell no.
So he also added that, quote, within 4.5 seconds of the start of the crash, the vehicle registered a hard right turn.
Okay. She did that shit on purpose.
So during cross-examination from the defense, Adam stated that the data doesn't show what caused or what made the turn. So was it Mackenzie trying to avoid the wall? Who knows? Like, honestly, it could have been Dominic trying to, you know, fighting the wheel, or just making sure that they didn't hit the wall.
Or maybe like if he was just sitting there and they were arguing or whatever back and forth, and then she's all like, I'm gonna hit this wall.
Or maybe he thought, you know, al último she's gonna break or something, you know,
like it's fine. She's just fucking with me.
And when he saw that, you know, obviously we don't know if this is what happened, but we're just, you know, if he saw that esta pendeja, she's not gonna break, I need a, you know, a lo mejor le metió al volante, or maybe it was Davion from behind, like,
because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt either.
Yeah.
Pero ella sí traía su seatbelt. Por eso te estoy diciendo, like, it's crazy to me that she didn't give a fuck, because she could have died.
She's lucky she didn't have worse injuries.
Yeah, she could have died, and it would have been
all three of them would have been gone.
Yeah, but she didn't care. I think it was more of a power struggle, honestly. Like, I have power over you, and
this is my car.
This is my car. I'm gonna scare you, or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, she did it before.
Yeah.
So, or
maybe she didn't think. But I mean, there's no way she didn't think that he was gonna die. But if she was going that fast
at 100 miles, and you're hitting a brick, she was there 3 days before.
Yeah, but like, was she looking for a brick wall to hit? Like, that just sounds crazy
where she
to me.
didn't. Somewhere donde no hubiera gente, like, or, you know,
cameras or something. I don't know.
I don't think she thought that far ahead, you know, because she got caught by cameras. So the recording of Mackenzie, again, threatened Dominic to be led into his house, was also played in court. Regarding the incident that took place where Dominic called his mom to pick him up, a family friend named Christopher Martin. So he was there cuando Dominic le habló a su mom, and it was him who picked up Dominic, who went to go pick up Dominic from the highway.
He was like, I got you. I'll go pick you up, bro.
So señor Christopher, he's testified that while on the phone with Dominic trying to get his location, that he heard Mackenzie say, quote, I will crash this car right now.
This bitch.
And Christopher added that when the car stopped, I guess he got to where, you know, donde estaban, que Dominic opened the door and that he saw Mackenzie swing her hands at him and that Dominic just got out. At the end of the 4-day trial, Davion's dad, Scott, wrote on Facebook. He said, quote, we do not seek vengeance, only justice for a son who was nothing more than an innocent passenger looking for a ride home.
He just wanted a ride home. That's it. Like, he got on the car thinking they're going home, they're taking me home. And this bitch did not give a fuck. Por lo menos lo hubiera bajado el pobre.
Pues sí. Y el que tenía
que ver. O sea, pero ella, she was so into the power struggle. That's what I'm saying. She wanted that power over
and I guess
to feel
she
like
seems like the girl who got whatever she wanted all the time.
Yeah,
Dominic was telling her no, like, no, I'm not gonna be with you. I'm gonna leave you. Y le dio coraje.
Yeah, because apparently if that's the case, then now it makes sense why her mom didn't go and bring her ass home whenever she's like, I'm moving out at 17 with this boyfriend's house. First of all, as a mom, I'd be like, does that man even want you over there? Like, what the fuck, you know? And you're just gonna go over there. Y vas a
y le compraban lo que querían. I'm telling you, she had everything designer.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and at that moment, she's like, I'm powerful. I have the power over you. Nobody leaves me. If you're gonna do that, then I'm killing you, or we're gonna die.
Yeah. When you say it like that, you're like, bitch.
It's crazy, but it's true. It happens all the time. That's the sad part. Like, it happens all the time.
Now, Judge Nancy Margaret Russo, no relation, found Mackenzie guilty on all counts.
Good.
Which were 4 counts of felonious assault, 2 of aggravated vehicular homicide, 1 of drug possession, and 1 of possessing criminal tools in addition to...
Yeah,
because they had the bong, the scale.
The scale and the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
In addition to 4 counts of murder. She said, quote, her actions were controlled, methodical, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. This was not reckless driving. This was murder. She morphs from a responsible driver to literal hell on wheels and makes her way down the street, a route she visited days before and a route not routinely taken by her. Judge Russo sentenced Mackenzie to 2 15 years to life sentences to be served concurrently with the possibility of parole.
Oh, she has a possibility to after what?
From within 15 years to life. So from 15 years is the minimum to, I guess.
Whenever. So
parole?
Minimum, a possibility of parole after 15 years. Yeah, so she has to be there at least 15 years. 2 times.
But concurrently. So she's with the time that she's doing now, she's doing it for both of them. So, so they're not being run consecutively. It's concurrently.
I see.
So Frank Russo, which is Dominic's dad, he told NBC News, quote, it's horrible for everybody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I lost my son. It's harder on our family, but I don't want the rest of her life ruined too. It isn't going to make me feel any better. The whole thing is just a shame.
It is a shame.
And it's so sad because the body cam, when they notify el papá de Dominic, when they notify his mom, it's so sad.
Yeah. Imagine.
And
I mean, just like, girl, because especially being the mom, meaning like, dude, he had been calling me and telling me that he needed
this
help,
girl,
or that this girl had been doing this shit or whatever it is. Like, that would kill me even more because I would feel like
the signs were there. Like, something's
going
to
happen. I should have helped him more.
Yeah.
Like, I should have been there for my son. But honestly, it was her decision, and she did that because she wanted to. It wasn't something that Dominic did or that.
It wasn't nobody's fault. It was her. It was all Mackenzie.
Yeah.
She knew what she was doing. Tampoco no estaba pendeja.
No.
Por pendeja sí está, pero pues.
Obviamente, pero pues que tan pendeja de que she didn't care that she was going to kill herself?
Imagine.
No. I mean, okay.
So Davion's mom, Jamie, said after the verdict, quote, there's not a day that goes by that we don't miss our son, and justice was served for him today. But honestly, there were no winners here. There's no winners here today.
No, of course not, because we're talking about a girl that's not even...
wasted her life.
Not even 18.
Well, at the time she was 18, but you're 19.
19 years old.
You're not even 20 yet. Like, dude, you're still in your teens.
And it's crazy. It's so crazy.
The Flanagans, which are Davion's parents, in his memory, began a scholarship fund in hopes of helping fund other streams of also going to barber school, something that Davion never got a chance to complete.
That's awesome.
Now, Mackenzie Shirilla's defense team has appealed her conviction twice. The first appeal was in 2024, in which they claimed a lack of evidence and errors made by the court. But the 8th District Court of Appeals upheld her conviction. The second appeal was in February of 2025, so a couple of months ago, which the Ohio Supreme Court declined to hear due to it being filed too late for the court to consider. I think it was submitted like a week late after the due date. So Mackenzie Shirilla is eligible for parole in September of 2037. And she's still going to be so fucking young if they parole her out.
It's crazy.
She'll still be in her 30s.
That's wild.
Early 30s.
That is so fucking
There's still
wild.
a whole ass life to live.
A whole ass life.
If they parole her, pues.
And we're talking about 2 lives that we're taking.
A 19, and because Davion was 19 and his birthday, he was going to be 20 because his birthday was the 4th of August and Mackenzie was the 2nd.
Can you believe that?
He was going to be 20 and Dominic was 20.
Like children. Your frontal lobe isn't even fucking developed very well at fucking 20. Like, are you kidding me? You're still a baby.
Todavía te quedan 15 años. I mean, te quedan 5 años before you...
Like that is...
But they weren't doing anything wrong. It was her.
They weren't, and it was her. And the sad part, like I said before, it's that it happens a lot. And I hope that...
And you never think that it's going to get to that point.
Never. And I hope that if anything comes out of this case, you know, of us talking about it, is that even if you're a male or a female...
It can happen to you.
Please get help. Go to the authorities. Do something about it, because don't be embarrassed just because
it happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And this girl, she was toxic, like you said. And like now with everybody saying, oh, you know, oh, I'm toxica, and everybody putting it on their cars and all of this shit.
It's not cute.
That's not cute. Like, it's not, because then things like this happen because girls think that that's okay.
It's not an aesthetic.
Or men. Men think that that's okay. And it's like, no, we are all free of living our life the way that we can and the way that we are able to.
And if you don't want to be with somebody, you can leave that person.
And you're free to make that decision.
You should be free.
Yes.
You know, so.
And it's like when people are like, oh, well, you know, you can't leave me. You can't do that.
I'm going to do this to myself.
Yes, I can leave you. And yes, because
it won't be my fault.
I have the right for that, because I can do that. But you know what? I hope that if anything comes out of this case, because we always want something to come out of our cases, is that please get help. It's okay if things are not, if you have that feeling it's not right, then it's not right.
Yeah.
You know, it's not okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the case of Mackenzie Shirilla.
Yeah. So, well, Mackenzie, I'm sorry, but I hope that...
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry. I hope that you stay in there longer than the 15 years. I'm just saying. But let us know what you think about this case. Thank you so much for bringing that case to us, sister. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, we are at
Cafecito and Crime Pod. And if you would like to leave us a review, rate us, download our episodes, we would really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you in the next one.
Bye.